Hello Dogs fans, welcome to another episode of After the Dogs Roar for season 2017. This is episode 10 and well, another massive episode coming up in this episode. Let's take a look at the episode agenda. Of course, we're going to start by overviewing our round 2 clash v the Sydney Swans, the grand final rematch at Etihad Stadium. Of course, it was the unfurling of our premiership flag as well, so it was a very exciting game. Of course, our first home game of the season as well. Following that is my round 2 votes for the After the Dogs Roar Best and Fairest Award. Following that, a look at where we stand on the AFL ladder. I can tell you now that nothing much has changed in terms of where we were on week 1 on the AFL ladder. They got a farewell and icon of the club. Looking forward to doing that, even though it is going to be sad. I'm looking forward to farewelling this icon. A preview of AFL Round 3 v Fremantle is coming up after that, and then to finish off the episode is the fan favourite segment, the 5 fan questions. Really looking forward to diving in to that segment. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight in to having a look at our round 2 clash v the Swans. So of course on Friday night we were versing the Sydney Swans in the grand final rematch. In our round 2 clash, of course, our first home game of season 2017. It was the unveiling of our premiership flag, which was very, very special, and I congratulate the Western Bulldogs and everyone who organised that event. It was good to see the legends of the game, the legends of our club being involved in that ceremony. It was just absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to everyone involved in that, and well, we haven't unveiled a flag for so long, but we did it on Friday night. Now, in terms of the game, this was a really good game. It didn't quite start off in our favour though. The Swans kicked the first 4 goals of the match. 3 of them was kicked by Sydney's Sam Reid. So he was having a blinder at the start of the game, and he was killing us early. It was no question about that. The Dogs did hit back with 2 goals from the new man Travis Cloke. There were some wasted chances, and we didn't trail by too much at quarter time. However, in fact, it was a 2-6 to 4-1 lead, so we kind of got back into it late in the quarter, but the Swans did hold a lead by a couple of goals at least. However, we were able to bite back in the second quarter and have the half-time and 3-quarter time lead. So after giving up the quarter time break lead, we were able to lead at the half-time and 3-quarter time break. The rest of the minor changes. Buddy really fired up in the 4th term. I was getting a bit worried because he was kicking goals on that left foot like he owned the shop, and that's exactly what he can do, to be honest, but we were able to finish strongly, and it was a good win in the end. A lot of players played well, and well, any doubt from that match against Collingwood was put to bed because we put up a terrific performance at our home ground against the Swans. This is the 4th straight time we have beaten the Swans. The first time at home for a long time, of course. The other 2 at the SCG, and of course the other one being the grand final of last year. So the final score was the Western Bulldogs 16-14, 110, defeated the Sydney Swans 13-9, 87. Really, really good win. It was very, very fantastic. Cool. The goal kickers, Cloak kicked 3. He is a really really good pickup, to be honest, at the moment. Of course, a lot of question whether he would actually get games for us, and well, he's getting games, and he's using them to perfection. I tell you that he is playing. He's playing really well at the moment. He kicked 3 goals in this game. Stringer also kicked 3. Bontempelli, Tom Boyd and Liam Picken kicked 2 each. Tom Boyd took a terrific mark in one of the quarters there during the game, and Liam Picken, well, he was outstanding. Lin Jong was as well. He kicked a single. Murphy, Hunter, Suckling kicked singles as well. Of course, Bob Murphy there kicking a goal. Of course, his first goal since coming back, of course. And then the best players, Dalhouse, Jong, Bontempelli, Stringer, Picken, Hunter and Cloak. No injuries to report from our side, which is very, very good, and just over, or nearly 43,000 rather, attended the grand final rematch at Etihad on Friday night. So it was a really special night. We unveiled our flag and we got the win to go with it as well, and we are 2-0 heading into our round 3 clash. The club, good times at the moment, there's no question about that. Okay, time now for my round 2 votes for the After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award for 2017. And, well, my 1 vote has gone to Liam Picken. He was outstanding. On some of the shows, they've been showing him and his work rate, his ability to be able to run from the defence to the forward line, have a massive impact in about 30 seconds worth of play. It's just absolutely stunning. So he picks up 1 vote. He was terrific. He got 15 kicks, 6 handballs, adding up to 21 disposals. He did kick 2 goals as well. 1 behind, got 96 fantasy points. He had a really good impact in this game for us, and he's just having the best time of his life right now. Last year was terrific, and he's just starting off the year in style. So Liam Picken, 1 vote for me. 2 votes I've gone Lin Jong. I thought he was fantastic. He kicked a goal. He collected 23 disposals, 8 kicks, 15 handballs, 8 marks. He had a real presence in the game. He popped up everywhere. He was one of those players where I was sitting and watching the game, and I was saying and speaking and saying that, oh, there's Lin Jong again. There's Lin Jong. He's one of those players that were just popping up everywhere and just, having a big impact in a lot of the contests. He was very, very good. So Lin Jong, of course, disappointing last year to miss out on the AFL Grand Final, of course, with that injury. Of course, he did come back and play in the VFL Grand Final, but he's having a good start to season 2017, Lin Jong. And then my 3 votes has gone to the one of the Brownlow favourites, it must be said, and that is Marcus Bontempelli. 30 disposals, 17 kicks, 13 handballs, 126 fantasy points. He got 2 goals. He had a little bit of a quiet week last week against Collingwood, but not a quiet week this week. He really did play a very, very good game against the Swans on Friday night at Etihad. So that is my votes, my round 2 votes for the After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award. And the leaderboard, pretty straightforward in the early part of the season. Marcus Bontempelli, Jason Johannesson, the only 2 players to have collected the 3 votes so far. They sit level. Lockie Hunter and Lin Jong level 3rd on 2 votes. And then Tom Liberatore, Liam Picken level 5th on 1 vote each. So that is the leaderboard for the After the Dogs Raw Best and Fairest Award. Of course, a lot of rounds still to go. Of course, that leaderboard will unfold as the rounds go on. Okay, time now to have a look at where we stand on the 2017 AFL ladder after round 2. And I mentioned before that not much has changed from the round 1 ladder in terms of our position, because we stay on 8th place, just like last week. Of course, the ladder is very interesting at the moment. Of course, Port Adelaide and Adelaide Crows leading the way in 1st and 2nd place, but we verse Fremantle, of course, in our next game, and they are bottom of the table. So, 8th position. Of course, the ladder doesn't mean too much in these early stages of the year, but it's good to sit on the ladder with 2 wins and 0 losses after 2 games. Okay, time now to take an opportunity to farewell an icon of the club, an icon off the field, and that is Sid the Bulldog. It was announced during the week that Sid is retiring Sid has been to, I think, nearly every game since for 7 years, I think, or something like that. Of course, it's 9 years old now, and in fact, one of the reasons for it retiring is because the average age of a Bulldog is actually at 10. Look, I got the opportunity to meet Sid last year in round 18 against St Kilda, our home game that day, and I was pretty blessed and filled with happiness when I met this dog, because very, very lovely animal, and not only is it a mascot, but it's also a big part of our Western Bulldogs community. And I'm actually filled with a lot of sadness that Sid is retiring, but I know it's the right thing to do, because it's been to many games over its I guess 7 years. Correct me if I'm wrong by saying it's been doing this for 7 years, but I think that's what I read. And yeah, I'm filled with a lot of sadness, but I'm filled with a lot of happiness, because this dog has brought so much happiness to our home games, and yeah, going to miss seeing it at our home games. But Sid, enjoy retirement, and thank you so much for everything you've done for our lovely club, the Western Bulldogs. You will be missed a very lot. Okay, time now to get stuck into our round 3 clash. It's against Fremantle at Domain Stadium in Perth on Saturday the 8th of April, so Saturday night footy. Of course, this game starting at 5:40 p.m. local time, so that is Perth time. For Melbourne time is 7:40 p.m. Eastern. You can watch all the action on 7 and Fox Sports 3. Fremantle have won 4 of the last 5 against us. Of course, we went there in round 23 last year and got beat by Fremantle. Of course, we actually redeemed ourselves the next week, because we actually went back there to verse the Eagles and won the elimination final. So I think that was the first time in a long time we've actually won over there at Domain Stadium. So look, Fremantle not going the best at the moment. In fact, I've raised my opinions about Fremantle in the fact that I think they're a bottom 2 finishing side this year. They don't play terrific football, and Port Adelaide smashed them on Saturday at the Adelaide Oval. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to come out and be really competitive on Saturday night. We need to really be on our guard. We are very, very capable and good enough of going over to Domain Stadium and winning this game. It's just a matter of Fremantle are going to take a lot of confidence into beating us last year at their home ground. So that's where we've got to, I guess, get the edge back, and we've got to beat this side at Domain on Saturday night. So really looking forward to this game. Not really sure who's going to be announced in the team, whether there's going to be any changes or not. I heard a whisper that there may be changes and players rested. I hope that's not the case, because it's only round 3. I don't know why players would need to be rested at this early stage of the season. So I reckon it's probably bull's poo, to be honest. So yeah, looking forward to this game. Saturday night, you can watch it on free-to-air 7, Fox Sports 3, of course, for HD and no ad breaks, siren to siren. Yeah, really looking forward to this game. Hope we win it. I reckon we're capable. We've been playing, we played good football last Friday night, and I thought we played in patches good football against Collingwood. Really looking forward to this game against the Dockers on Saturday night. Okay, time now for the fan favourite segment to finish off episode 10 of After the Dogs Roar. Can you believe it? We're into the 10th episode already of this show. Of course, we did start very early in 2017. But anyway, on to the questions. The first one from Matt Button, who always asks very good questions, and this one is definitely a good question. Would you make any changes to the team this week? I definitely wouldn't. I don't see why we can't keep the same side unless there's any niggles in amongst players. But look, we played very well on Friday night, I thought, besides the first quarter where the Swans kicked 4 goals to start off the match. Besides that, I thought we played really well. I thought everyone played their part well, and I liked that Campbell was back in the side. I liked that Adams was included back into the side as well. Yeah, I wouldn't make any changes personally, but we can't be so sure that is what Luke Beveridge is thinking, because he might have other plans up his sleeve, and if a player does have a niggle or two, then that might then the team might just change from last Friday night. So no, I wouldn't make any changes at all if every single player is fit and ready to go for Saturday night. Adam asks, is Jake Stringer more suited to the midfield or forward line, and should Clay Smith come in for Crammery? Look, it's no doubt that Jake Stringer is predominantly a forward player. I think that's, you know, the pocket, the flank, and in around that forward line is probably where he does his best work, although the midfield he's very exceptional in the midfield, and that ability to be able to, well, do what we saw on Friday night, sorry about that, which was get it out of the centre and kick a goal, just moments after Buddy scored. So, yeah, I think he's more suited to the forward line, but he does add a lot of presence in the midfield. So, either way, he's good in both positions, and you know, the pace is what really makes him a very good midfield player. And yeah, he's very good at both positions. I'm not really sure I think he's more suited to the forward line, but yeah, he's a very good midfield player. And in terms of Clay Smith coming in for Crammery, I said before to Matt Button's question about making changes, I wouldn't make that change. I think Crammery stays in for me on Saturday night. Red WB asks, if we were to have the unfurling of the flag again in 2018, what would fans like to see different to this occasion? A hard one, this one, because I wasn't there at the game on Friday night, by the way, at Etihad. I watched from my hometown of Hobart on the TV and watched it. But and I thought it was really, really well done. Like, I don't think we really could have done it any better. You know, it went perfectly. It was good that we got legends involved who couldn't quite experience that taste of winning a premiership. It was good we got them involved, and it's a hard one, this one. I actually don't know. I'm actually not sure. I saw a comment actually from someone saying we should do it at Whitten Oval. I don't think that's going to happen next year because, well, unfortunately, the AFL days of playing at Whitten Oval are done. Unfortunately, that's sad because Whitten Oval is a good ground. But yeah, I'm not sure. I find this a very hard one to answer, Red WB. So I'm sorry. I probably didn't contribute too much to this question, but yeah, I just thought that Friday night's unfurling was perfectly done, to be honest. Tom Clinch asks, what are the Dogs expected to win by this weekend? Very interesting question. I am not putting I'm not putting a margin on our win this week. I'm not putting a margin expectation on our win this week if we do win on Saturday night. My expectation is actually just to win, basically, because last year in round 23 we actually got beat by Fremantle at their home ground. They would be coming into this game saying, right, we beat this club last year when they came over to our fortress, so we can actually do that again, and they'd be taking a lot of confidence into the game out of that. So I think we've actually set ourselves a challenge from round 23, and that is to win this week because we haven't beaten Fremantle there in our previous meeting. So that's pretty much my expectation, is that we need to win at Domain Stadium against Fremantle because we didn't do that last year. So no expectation on the margin for me. The win is what is the expectation. And then finally, a little bit of fun to finish off the show and this segment. Melton Bogan always contributes a lot of funny and comedian comments to this show and to the Western Bulldogs forum, and this one is definitely up there. He says, how much would the forum members be willing to tip in order for me to streak the length of the ground against Freo and force a rush behind for applying pressure to the Dockers defenders? A very funny question, that one. Yeah, it's a very funny question. I tell you what, you'd be hoping that everyone tips in the amount that's required to pay your fine, but well, I tell you what, I guess there's a little bit of funniness in that with the deliberate rush behind rule at the moment, which is perfectly fine in my opinion at the moment. But yeah, good stuff there, Melton. Very funny comments, and let me know what you all think. Do you think you're willing to tip in if Melton was run the field. And that is it for another episode of After the Dogs Roar for season 2017. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, share this video, subscribe. Of course, a new episode of After the Dogs Roar is out every single week up until our last game of season 2017. Of course, I do 2 other AFL shows on this channel as well. The Ultimate AFL Preview Show and the Ultimate AFL Wrap-Up Show. Go check them out, of course. They are shows that I do put a lot of time in producing as well. So go check them out as well as all of my other content. And yeah, until next week, let's hope the Dogs get another win and make it 3-0. So I'm talking about that next week on next week's episode of After the Dogs Roar. So until then, I'm Jacob. Go Dogs. Bye for now.